Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, I want to talk to you today about how to change your self-image. So last week, I started cleaning out the clutter in my home. I have a lot of wall art on my wall in my office. And so I started taking the wall art down. I was wiping it off, wiping off the dust and everything. And I rearranged the wall art on my wall. And then I went into the living room. I rearranged the whole entire living room. There was some items in the home that when I looked at it, I asked myself, do I see this in my future? Right? Or is it time for me to let these items go? And so, I had a clock on my wall. I said, you know what? I don't see this clock in my future. So I'm going to go ahead, and drop it off at the Salvation Army. Maybe someone else can enjoy this clock because it still looked new, it still looked good, but I no longer want it. I don't see it in my future, right? And so, I was just cleaning out the clutter because I noticed one thing about 2 weeks ago. I noticed that in my mind, I began to feel like a lot of space is there, right? I began to notice how I'm able to move a lot faster and get things done a lot more quicker. And I was, talking to God. I was like, well, it seems like I'm getting things done, a lot more faster. He was like, yes, because you've been releasing a lot of clutter and you've been dealing with the hurt and pain, from the past. So I was like, ah. So that kind of gave me, it helped me to connect the dots. So my daughter last night, she said, Mom, our home, it just looked totally different. She was like, you rearranged the whole wall and it looked different. She was like, and then in the living room, it just looked totally different because of how I changed it around. And so here's the thing, because what I'm doing is recreating a new self image. I'm changing my self image, right? And some of us, this is what we desire, right? At the beginning of the year, we say, okay, yes, new year, new me, right? and, we say these things only for us to stay the same person, right? And so when we talk about how to change your self image, it starts with number one, you identifying, well, what is my current self image of myself, right? What is my current self image I have of myself? And you can discover your current self image by looking at how do you show up every single day. So are you someone who show up gossiping about other people? If so, that's your current self-image. You see yourself as someone who gossip about other people. Do you show up as someone who blame others or complains all the time? If so, that's your current self-image. Do you show up as someone who is always angry, right? Lashing out, going off? If so, that's your current self image, right? That's how you see yourself. Do you show up as someone who behave in sneaky and deceiving ways? Are you always lying to other people? If so, this is your current self image, right? And so to change it, right, I can't just say, because sometimes we'll take a big leap, right? We'll say, okay, this is who I am, and I'm trying to get from A to Z, right? And we'll try to make this big leap only to, revert right back to point A, right? And so when we talk about how to change your self-image, number one, I got to begin to take a look at how am I showing up every single day? Because this is my current self-image. This is how I see myself. This is who I believe I am. If I'm showing up as someone who gossip, stab people in the back, behaving deceiving ways, if I'm very controlling or manipulative, if I complain or blame, shift on people, if I, even with my single moms, we can show up as strong, right? We don't need any help. I'm a strong single mom, right? We take pride in that, right? Because that's our current self-image. We always had to be strong all of these years, right? And so this now has become your self-image. And so number one, I got to become aware of, this is who I am showing up as on a daily basis. This is who I am, right? And then you got to ask yourself, okay, do I want to continue to be this way, or do I want to change for the better? Because if I want to change for the better, right, I got to write down, what is my better? How does better look? like, in this particular area of my life, right? I no longer want to be someone who gossip, right? And if that's the case, then I got to become aware of this is who I don't want to be, right? I want to be someone who celebrate others, who speak highly of other people, right? And then I got to make the effort every single day to show up as this new person. Excuse me. This is how you change your self image. If I'm someone who are very deceiving and I lie to other people, like lying just come flying off your lips. But I don't want to be this way, right? I really desire to be a better person. Okay. I have to determine in my heart that I want to be someone who is better, who is able to tell people the truth, who is able to be honest with others. So I have to make the decision every single day in every situation, no matter who, I'm face to face with, that I'm going to be honest with individual. I'm going to walk in truth because this is the new person that I'm becoming. See, if I if I know I'm dealing with this and I keep wishing I want to be, something different, and I never practice, I never get my practice in and walk this thing out, right? If I don't ever get my practice in, make the decision to change for the better and actually change, like actually put this stuff into practice, I'm going to stay the same. Right? So we got to move to a space of taking a look at ourselves, right? Do I like this current, self image? Some of you might like it. You probably like, no, I could, because sometimes you could be so strong. You can be someone who is always angry, someone who walk around like you got it all like this, right? That could become our identity, and sometimes depending on, what it is, like I used to walk around in this world, behaving like I'm just so tough, like you better not mess with me. But that was my way of protecting myself. That was my way. I came across that way because I didn't want anyone to mess with me, right? I wanted people to fear me. You see what I'm saying? And so I made myself that way, right? As a protective mechanism, right? But that can keep people at a distance, right? And so somewhere in that I had to tweak it. But what I'm getting at here is, you got to take a look at yourself and ask yourself, do I like who I am? Do I like how I'm showing up? Do I even like how others are perceiving me? Because sometimes, people can, they could say hurtful things to you, but it might be some truth in what this person is saying to you and about you, right? And so this is where we got to sit down and take a look at ourselves and ask ourselves, okay, do I want to continue to show up this way? If not, who do I want to become? What is the new self image I want to walk in? How do I want other people to perceive me, right? Going forward. Once I get clear on these questions, now I got to walk this out. I have to practice being him or her every single day in different situations. When I tell people no, yes, they're not going to like it all the time. They might get upset. I might lose a couple of friends just by telling people no, or even giving people the truth, because a lot of people don't like the truth. I might, step on some toes. But this is how we grow. This is how we become better. This is how we develop character, right? You got to step into it if you want to change your self image, right? So that's what I wanted to talk to you all about, how to change your self image. We got to move into, it's not enough to just say, oh, I want to be this and I want to be that. We got to move into doing the work. We have to move into, okay, like walking this out, actually being a positive person, being someone who celebrate others, being someone who walk in honesty and truth. We got to be the very person we see in our head. We got to be who we say we want to be in order for us to step fully into that new self image. And then we also got to get rid of the things that are in our life that is keeping us bound to the self-image of the past. Just like how I stated at the beginning of this video. I looked at the clock that was on my wall. Nothing wrong with the clock, but I don't see that clock in my future. I see a better clock, right? I might see a different color on the clock. And so because I don't see that in my future, I took it on off the wall and it's in the trunk about to head to Salvation Army, right? I rearranged the wall art on my wall, right? And I rearranged it for a purpose, okay? It's all because of where I'm going, where I see myself in the future. Okay. So that is it. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.